I also want to highlight tonight, just before we get underway in this game, Ian Martson on the left-hand side for Dortmund on loan. He's a Chelsea player. It's extraordinary. We've got a Man United player in the Dortmund lineup. Could become the first contracted Manchester United player since 2011 to reach a Champions League final. That's Jadon Sancho, and Ian Martson behind him as well. And I wonder how Chelsea are feeling about this, because this is a guy who gets forward, he scores goals, he's dynamic, and maybe Chelsea just didn't think he was right for their first team, but I reckon he might be playing tomorrow night if he was still at Chelsea, Danny.
Yeah, but that always happens in football, isn't it? There's always one, why did you let him go? Because at the time, it was probably the right decision. Looked at him last season, thought, well, he's not going to be close enough to the first team. He's not going to get enough minutes. So what's the best thing for him to do? I tell you what, we'll let him go on loan. And it's almost by chance that... Did anyone really expect Dortmund to make it to the Champions League semi-final?
No, but they knew they were playing in the Champions League.
Yeah, of course. But you're thinking, well, actually, we're going to send a player who's going to get game time at a high level, that's going to improve his game, so when he comes back to us, he'll be a much better player. You know, whether we want to sell him on or whether we want to use him for our first team. So, again, there will be hundreds of players that you can look at that have been loaned out and think, oh, it's come back to bite you, you know, just for that small period of time. But at the time, you make the right decision for the player and for the club.
Let's see how he does tonight. 3 of Dortmund's 4 goals in the quarter-final second leg with Atletico Madrid came down that left-hand side. So that's where they could be strong tonight against Paris Saint-Germain, as the two teams made their way out onto the turf in Germany. Chelsea Spurs live on Talksport tomorrow night, Premier League. Friday night, Luton Everton, again live and exclusive on Talksport and nowhere else. Talk about Dortmund, and we talk about the players who've left: Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, and many, many more. But can the current crop, featuring a Manchester United reject, do something those superstars couldn't do at the club and make history in the Champions League? Only Mbappe and Paris Saint-Germain stand in their way. Live on Talksport with former England defender Danny Mills alongside Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Adrian. The Westfalenstadion is cloaked in Dortmund black and yellow. The yellow wall has flags galore, flapping and waving their support for their team, their heroes. The noise is turned up to 10, and the expectation is almost as smothering. But it is funny, isn't it, how things hinge on moments, isn't it? Newcastle United beat Paris Saint-Germain, should have beaten them to a place in the knockout stages. But as the English teams all look on from the sidelines, it is the team that won the group of death, Dortmund, and the wealth of Paris, who clash in the Final Four. With the Germans knowing that a win doesn't only give them a chance of another Champions League final, but it will secure the Bundesliga, a 5th Champions League place that for so long the Premier League thought was theirs. But in the Champions League, it's never yours unless you take it. More so than anywhere else, when you have a chance in this competition, be ruthless, because the others are hard-hearted, stone-cold killers who will seize upon any weakness. Just see last night for details. Time for former champ Dortmund or perennial Champions League winners in waiting PSG to finally grasp the moment. Who will it be? It's Dortmund's biggest game in 11 years, 5th in the Bundesliga, so would doubly benefit from winning tonight. Edin Terzic, their smart coach, makes a couple of changes from the weekend. Kobel is the goalkeeper, Ryerson the right back, Schlotterbeck, Hummels and Martson on loan from Chelsea, the left back. Emre Can and Sabitzer, 2 who have played at Liverpool and Manchester United. They anchor the midfield. Brandt plays behind Adeyemi and Sancho, with Füllkrug leading the line. Our referee tonight, Anthony Taylor. VAR, Stuart Atwell, Adam Nunn and Gary Bezic are the assistant referees, taking charge of this Champions League semi-final. And PSG, for whom the Champions League has been hitherto chased without success, make 5 changes from the weekend as they look to take a lead into the second leg in Paris in a week's time. Donnarumma has replaced Keylor Navas in goal from the weekend. Hakimi plays at right back. Marquinhos Hernandez, and Nuno Mendes is the first choice back four for Luis Enrique. Zaire Emery and Vitinha holding in midfield with Fabian Ruiz, who will get licence to attack. Dembele will cut in from the right-hand side. Barcola from the left, love to destabilise defenders and create a bit more space for Kylian Mbappe, who requires 2 goals for 50 in the Champions League. He has a grand total of 43 already this season. Danny Mills played in the Champions League for Leeds United. He made his debut in the Camp Nou. Last night we saw a German side dominate, but come away without the advantage they craved. What will Dortmund have learnt from that game?
Well, I think they'll realise that PSG can't defend. You know, that is for sure. Whoever wins the Champions League is going to be the team that is able to defend properly and concede the least goals. All of these teams are capable of scoring. We've seen that over the knockout stages. So who can defend? Who can put pressure on the opposition? Even last night, you know, both teams conceding 2. Having to score 3 goals in a Champions League semi-final to win the game is almost unheard of.
4,000 Paris Saint-Germain supporters have made the journey on what is a German public holiday. 24 degrees Celsius today, bright sunshine, beer being drunk. I think that has enhanced the atmosphere, the notorious atmosphere inside this stadium even further. Live Premier League football tomorrow night and Friday night on the Talksport network. Saturday we're following once again one of the leaders in the Premier League, and Sunday will be round the grounds on the Sunday session. Monday night we're at Palace for Manchester United, and the football just keeps on rolling because we are your live football station. We've got more of it from the EFL, the Championship final day, the playoffs and beyond than any other broadcaster. This is Talksport. It's Dortmund against Paris Saint-Germain, with Paris Saint-Germain in white shirts, white shorts and socks, attacking the goal away to our left. That yellow wall behind the goal that Gregor Kobel is defending, and it's the yellow jerseys with black trim, black shorts and mixed socks attacking the goal away to our right for Borussia Dortmund. Füllkrug holds the ball up on the halfway line, doesn't get it under control, sends it back into the centre of midfield. Emre Can wrestles and drags Dembele to the floor. The Borussia Dortmund captain gives away a free kick inside the centre circle, and you get the sense already that it's going to be an intense, fast-paced match.
Dortmund have to make sure that they settle into this game very, very quickly, and just make themselves aware that they don't get overrun too soon. You can't win this tie in the first 15 minutes, but you can lose it. And I know that sounds stupid, because obviously one has to win it and one has to lose it if that happens. But you don't want to play yourself out of the tie.
Here is Dembele back to Hakimi, and then back to the near tide, where it's collected eventually on the PSG right. And out for a throw-in, which Ian Martson will take for Borussia Dortmund. 2 minutes played, Dortmund 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Live on Talksport tonight. Luis Enrique, the Paris Saint-Germain manager, was understated and humble yesterday, describing this first year at the Parc des Princes as the beginning of a project and a team being in the process of improvement. But any rather impartial observer will point out that Paris Saint-Germain have the opportunity to win the quadruple. The fifth in the league, Borussia Dortmund only have the Champions League really to play for. Ball on the right side with Ryerson trying to get up high inside Paris territory. Interception comes from Fabian Ruiz, blocked by Sabitzer as they push up high. Ryerson trying to win it once again, feeds Sabitzer down the right side, a little back heel cut out in the left fullback position by Nuno Mendes, but they've won it back again with this high octane approach, pushing high up inside Paris territory. Fabian Ruiz takes it out of play and it's away for a throw-in deep inside Paris half of the field on the right hand side as Dortmund look at it.
I get the feeling that Dortmund need to use this crowd, need to use the energy, and if they're going to progress in this competition, they're going to have to take a positive result to Paris, and that means they're going to have to win this tie tonight.
Well, PSG won the title on Sunday when Monaco lost to Lyon after failing to do it themselves on Saturday.
I know, sorry Sam, I know you said they're up for the quadruple, but don't they win at least 2 trophies every year? Isn't that a given?
Well, they have won 10 titles in the last 11 years, yeah. Here on the edge of the penalty area, Borussia Dortmund coming forward. It's cut out and sent back to the midpoint of their own half. Hummels from Schlotterbeck, who's been recently ignored by the Bundestrainer Julian Nagelsmann, who's taken over as the man in charge of the German national team. Sancho trying to weave his way past Ruiz, and Nuno Mendes gets caught in a quagmire, and eventually PSG play their way out to this near side. But again, Borussia Dortmund win it back high inside opposition territory. Brandt on the half turn kicks it against the referee, who got in the way, and Anthony Taylor has to stop the game and give an uncontested drop ball.
He didn't see it, did he, Anthony Taylor? That was his problem there.
As you mentioned, Luis Enrique taking them to the title. There was no big celebrations, just the guard of honour in training, because they knew that their season will be defined not by the winning of the French title, but by what happens in this competition.
He played in that Barcelona team, by the way, when I made my debut.
Did he? Who came off better, you lot or them?
Well, to be fair, we didn't touch the ball for 44 minutes, and we were 4-0 down at half-time, I think. Oh, I've been 3-0. We definitely lost 4-0. So,
do you notice I didn't reference the scoreline?
Honestly, we got an absolute footballing lesson. We got played off the park. It was, I mean, we were in awe. We were rabbits in the headlights, and it was verging on embarrassing. So it was most of us. It was our first Champions League tie, and we're thinking, "Oh dear, what's to come?"
Here's Rice trying to make Paris Saint-Germain think, "Oh dear." He had lots of room to run into, but he then gave it to Sancho's low cross into the near post. Is cleared away and put out on this near touchline and away for a throw-in. It was good defending by Luca Hernandez, who just positioned himself in front of Donnarumma, spooned the ball out for a throw-in. Again, a change of pace from Sancho, who runs with the ball, then gives it away cheaply. Vitinha picks it up for Paris, and then here comes Kylian Mbappe through the centre circle, working it out wide towards Achraf Hakimi, trying to outpace Adeyemi, who does very well to stick with him, actually. Hakimi goes down, spills the ball, it goes behind for a goal kick. He thinks he should have got a foul. The referee's having none of it, Anthony Taylor.
No, Adeyemi did very, very well. Shoulder to shoulder. He's stronger than Hakimi. He's also probably a little bit quicker as well. It was fantastic powers of recovery, and that shoulder to shoulder just put him off balance. Hakimi then kicked it out of play, and no, I think Anthony Taylor made the right decision there.
Achraf Hakimi, who was once an employee of Borussia Dortmund, and Edin Terzic, the manager of Borussia Dortmund, head coach, said, "Yeah, we'll be pleased to see them, but we want to stop them from winning the Champions League. And to do that, we want to knock them out." He was talking not only about Achraf Hakimi, but the returning Ousmane Dembele as well. Here is Adeyemi down the left-hand side, got the beating of Hakimi, gets to the byline, pulls the ball through the penalty area, but it was a little bit too high, lifted it over the top of everyone, and Sancho has it on this near side. Interestingly, Sancho started on the right-hand side and Adeyemi on the left, and I think that is because of Adeyemi's ability to get in behind Hakimi for pace.
Well, and also his reliability to defend as well. We just saw that, tracking back and chasing back. I'm not convinced that's Jadon Sancho's strongest point, but that's a nightmare now for Hakimi, because he net 2 incidences in the first 6 minutes. He knows that his winger's quicker than him.
0-0, Dortmund against Paris Saint-Germain. It's the third meeting of the season between these two. It was 1-1 here in the group stage. Zaire Emery scoring a famous goal in a tight game, which Paris Saint-Germain had to come from behind in. Paris were on top on the opening night in the Parc des Princes, aided by Dortmund going to a back three. It didn't work. Here is Brandt feeding Sabitzer. Steam through the centre circle for Dortmund. Out towards the left it goes. Collected in the end. And eventually over on that far side by Madsen. Then Adeyemi jigs past one challenge, then tries to take on Vitinha. Vitinha stands in his way and just about dispossesses him, and Paris Saint-Germain bring the ball forward. But Dortmund have made a good start to the game. 7.5 minutes gone, 0-0 on Talksport. And I think Edin Terzic will be the happier of the two managers.
Yeah, high energy, high tempo, closing people down, looking to cause Paris Saint-Germain problems as they're trying to play out from the back. Like I said, they've got to use this crowd. They've got to use the energy, the atmosphere, to put in a performance, to win this tie tonight, I believe, if they're going to go through.
Yeah, it's a snarling cauldron of noise, isn't it? Anyone who's ever sat in this stadium knows that it almost deafens you. It's intoxicating. 62,000 in tonight. It does hold over 80,000, but in UEFA competitions it's restricted to 60 because everyone has to have their own specific seat. There's a slight difference in the number of people allowed to stand during those league games. Hakimi into Vitinha. Now Mendes. Nuno Mendes feeding the ball into Fabian Ruiz, who looks to try and turn it into the path of Kylian Mbappe. Schlotterbeck clips it clear, and it's chested down by Füllkrug, who holds onto it well, moves forward, pokes it out towards the near side, collected by Jadon Sancho, stops the ball, keeps it under control, shields it, takes it away from two challenges, and then pushes the ball back to Ian Maatsen, who was at Burnley last year on loan. Obviously a lively player. I mean, obviously I'm going to disagree with your assessment that Chelsea could do without him, because Ben Chilwell hasn't played for the second half of the season, and Marc Cucurella is Marc Cucurella.
But you wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season when they allowed him to go on loan, would you? You know, you've got Ben Chilwell, you've got Cucurella.
He went on loan in January.
Well, but even at that stage, you're still thinking he's probably expecting Chilwell to come back.
Here is Barcola. All infield it goes to Mbappe. Mbappe into a crowd. Backing off is Emre Can. Out towards the right-hand side. Achraf Hakimi, Zaire Emery. They continue to hold on to the ball in the middle of the park. Didn't mean to be rude to Cucurella there, by the way, but I was trying to think of a reason for him not to be in the team, and I couldn't come up with a defence. I think he lost a few fans, didn't he, in that game against Arsenal after fighting with Ben White. Ben White up to his usual antics.
I think he wore gloves in that game as well, so that's an excuse not to play him.
Here is Zaire Emery. Forward it goes. Into Dembele, out to the right-hand side. Hakimi up to the edge of the penalty area. Back to Dembele again. Switching, turning, shooting towards the far corner, but dragging a shot wide of the upright. And it's out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Dortmund 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0 on Talksport.
PSG had a couple of sighters at goal. Nothing really hitting the target. But intriguing game so far. You know, we're all looking to Dembele, Mbappe, you know, what can PSG do going forward? Whereas Dortmund is very much a team ethic. Füllkrug up front is an old-fashioned number 9. He's going to be vitally important, holding the ball up, making himself a nuisance at times.
Nasser El Khalifi is in the stadium, the Paris Saint-Germain chairman, and he's sitting alongside the former president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, who has made the journey tonight. Luka Hernandez has it for Paris Saint-Germain, deep inside their own half. I think Dortmund players feel as if they're a little bit more together, more of a team. They've had more time together since the previous meetings between the two. They know this is going to be a test of their development and that togetherness tonight. Here's Barcola for Paris Saint-Germain. Edge of the area is Mbappe, trying to turn. Hummels is there. So is Schlotterbeck. Between the two of them, they win it back, and then Jadon Sancho almost gave it back to Mbappe inside the penalty area. This time he makes a little bit more of a crisper pass, finds Hummels, who himself gives the ball away. Then Paris do the same thing. Ryerson has it again. It's a little bit chaotic, and Emre Can is looking for a way out of the press and almost gives away a corner kick. That was probably the most rattle that Dortmund have looked in the opening 12 minutes.
Yeah, it all starts from Jadon Sancho giving the ball away, you know, in his own box, and he got away with it. But from that moment, PSG think, we can press now. We can really put them under pressure, and that's exactly what they did. And they end up winning a throw in level with the 18-yard box.
12 gone. Ball thrown in left side by Nuno Mendes into Fabian Ruiz. Then it's given to Luka Hernandez on the halfway line. Marquinhos, the man who's made more appearances for PSG than any other player in their history, strokes it wide towards the right. Mbappe dropping deep. The whistles from the yellow wall behind the goal away to our left signify that Paris Saint-Germain have possession of the football inside Dortmund territory. Barcola trying to take on Ryerson, does well. Ryerson and then wins it for a second time. Sabitzer turns the ball over. Brandt, lovely skip around the defender Luca Hernandez, wants the return from Sancho. Again, it's not crisp enough, but he's won it back this time. Now does Phil Brandt down the right hand side. He feeds the ball into Sabitzer, and Donnarumma's come out and closed the angle and stopped the shot, but it's loose again. Julian Brandt back towards the edge of the area, cut out by the defender, hit against Sancho, goes out for a throw-in down in the left corner of the field. 0-0.
Great opportunity, really good play from Dortmund. I just think Sabitzer, he tried to smash it. It was a yard away from Donnarumma as he came steaming out. It's one of those where maybe a clever centre forward just dinks it over top of the goalkeeper. Maybe natural finishing is not his strong point, but good pressure, good opportunity for Dortmund.
Good opportunity for Dortmund. They've had the best chance of the game so far. It's goalless. They've pressed well from the front. They've had a lot more ball in opposition territory. They know they're going to have to suffer at points tonight, but they have been PSV, Atletico Madrid and Bayern in the last couple of months. Occasionally they get a bloody nose. Stuttgart, who have had a great season, beat them at the beginning of last month. They had a scare against mid-table Mönchengladbach recently. And that defeat at the weekend against Leipzig disappointed them, especially Julian Brandt. He was talking about how it was an unacceptable defeat. It wasn't just because they were missing a few players. He thought they were off the pace of the weekend. They don't look like they're off the pace tonight. Here's Ryerson over the halfway line for the home team. Dortmund on the attack with Sancho, drags the ball forward, then overhits it and runs into the rather muscular figure of Nuno Mendes, who has been linked with moves away. Sound playing away for a throw-in on this near side. Let's go off to Prenton Park in the WSL. Another goal for Mark Wilson.
Yeah, huge goal. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. It came from a Liverpool corner. Romain Hogg got the final touch. I think she was certainly claiming it, but it's a goal that could deny Chelsea retaining the title. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1.
Yep. Chelsea need to win tonight. No doubt about that. It's something that is paramount in Emma Hayes' mind. 1-1 at this moment in time means that Manchester City will have a 5-point lead at the top of the WSL from Chelsea. Big fixtures this weekend on Sunday, which we will keep you up to date with on Talksport as the season comes to its conclusion. We've been following it all campaign. We'll follow it right to the very end. We've been following the Champions League as well. 50-50 in terms of possession so far. Only shot on target is a Dortmund shot on target. And it's Paris Saint-Germain and Luis Enrique's side who have the ball on this near side. Thrown in by Nuno Mendes. A long throw which is cut out by Mats Hummels. He launches the ball forward. Füllkrug in a battle with Luca Hernandez. The ball spills out to the near side. Mendes heads it forward. Won by Barcola, but I think the offside flag was up against Kylian Mbappe. It's a Borussia Dortmund free kick.
There's not an awful lot between these two sides, is there? You know, when you look at them player for player, the one difference is the standout player obviously is Kylian Mbappe. You know, we all know that. Oh, here we go.
Sabitzer trying to get in behind, but it'll be tied up by Hakimi. No real problems for Donnarumma.
Just the angle for a minute there, I thought he was through on goal, but he didn't quite have the pace to get in behind Hakimi.
17 gone. Nuno Mendes into Fabian Ruiz. Strides forward, gets up to halfway, plays it to the left, and Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe, 43 goals. He's going to go to Real Madrid at the end of the season, but it hasn't dimmed his enthusiasm to try and win this competition for Paris Saint-Germain. He bundles his way forward, held up by Emre Can. The ball half cleared by Dortmund, but it comes back again down the left-hand side. Barcola's running behind Ryerson. He's got the ball into the centre, looking for Mbappe, cut out by Hummels and cleared away by Dortmund again. Down on the right, they move forward once more. Dembele, edge of the area, left-footed drive towards the near post, well wide of the goal. And it flashes past the post. 18 minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport live in the Champions League tonight. It's Borussia Dortmund of the Bundesliga 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. The winners will play the winners of Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, who played such a thrilling game out last night on Talksport. It was terrific entertainment. And we hope to bring you similar amounts of entertainment from this competition from now until the end of it in June.
Well, both those teams that you just mentioned, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, are littered with superstars, aren't they? Household names. And this is what I mean. These two teams aren't, in all honesty. There's some very, very good players in there, clearly. You don't get anywhere near the Champions League semi-final without good players. But Mbappe is really the only one standout superstar on the whole pitch.
Well, you only become a standout superstar and a household name by making a name for yourself, and you can do that in this competition. Here is Zaire Emery trying to escape down the right-hand side, and Maatsen takes emergency action, swipes his legs away, and gets the first yellow card of the game.
It was a really poorly timed tackle. Didn't need to make it, was just going to run towards the byline. He dived in and missed the ball by some distance. Really needless challenge.
There's a little bit of naivety from Ian Maatsen. He's only 22 years of age. Signed a 2-year extension at Chelsea before leaving. Scored in the quarter-finals against Atletico Madrid. It's his 19th appearance since joining in January. They have utilised him. Here's the free kick then. Ousmane Dembele will take it. Wide on the right. It's a yard in from the right touchline, just outside the penalty area, level with the 18-yard box. It's swung in towards the near post. Takes a little flick on the way through, but not a clean one. Fabian Ruiz sends it back again. Dembele's come into the penalty area. It's blocked by Emre Can and then hoisted away to the halfway line by the Dortmund defence. Luca Hernandez is claiming that he got whacked inside the penalty area. The referee hasn't done anything about stopping the game, and Fabian Ruiz has it on the halfway line. 0-0, 20 minutes gone.
Well, PSG have now kicked the ball out. I don't think it's that bad, because he looked at the referee 2 or 3 times. Is VAR going to review it, or... I mean, he might have a tiny little bit of blood on his lip, if that. Has he bitten his tongue, perhaps? No, he's fine.
I think he's just bitten his bottom lip, hasn't he? It was when he went up with Marcel Sabitzer.
Do you know what? I mean, it's a... Sabitzer's just holding him off, and he's got his arms out and he's strong. And I would say that Luca Hernandez runs into his arm.
Well, there has been a check. That check has been over pretty quickly. Stuart Atwell, the VAR, looked at it.
He just stood his ground, didn't he?
His arm did go up, though, didn't
but but you're going to do that. So you put your arms out to protect yourself, to block people off. He didn't swing it. He didn't move his arm. He was set in one position. And Luca Hernandez ran into his arm, I would say.
I think Luca Hernandez is going to be as generous with his description as you were, but okay.
But he didn't.
He's got a fat lip.
But he didn't swing it, did he? He didn't move towards the player. He was stood still.
Mbappe waits for the ball to come to him and then turns it round the corner to Dembele. Dembele trying to get to the edge of the penalty area, moves into the box, leaves it for Mbappe, edge of the area. He's surrounded by 3 or 4 white jerseys. He goes backwards rather than forwards. All very tight and congested on the edge of the Dortmund box. Paris come again. I did say that maybe they would have to double up on Mbappe today, but they couldn't afford to neglect the other talents in the Paris Saint-Germain team. Dembele with the cross is headed away, and then Brandt trying to keep it alive on the far side. Marquinhos turns it over. Hakimi forward into Dembele. Dembele running into the edge of the box. It's cut out by Schlotterbeck, and then it's given back by Adeyemi to Vitinha, who finds Mbappe, squeezes it out to the left. Barcola's not going to reach that. Cobble is, and he comes out, grabs it on the edge of the penalty area. 0-0, 22 minutes played, and it's been an even contest so far, but Paris Saint-Germain, who have ridden that early storm, now just trying to assert their authority on the game.
What Dortmund are doing very, very well is they're defending deep, they're organised, so they're not allowing that space in behind. Dembele wants to run into that, Barcola wants to run into that. Clearly Mbappe would love space in behind. The fact they're defending very, very deep, very, very organised, when those players do get the ball in and around the box, there's 2 or 3 Dortmund players to close them down. They're denying any sort of space to PSG in and around the box, and that's why they're struggling to get shots away on goal at the moment.
And they've been in the situation where they want to take the pressure off too, so they're quite happy to go long from the goalkeeper up to Füllkrug, who is a big, strapping centre forward who's good in the air and brings the ball down well, holds on to it well, protects it well. He's actually been pretty good leading the line for Germany in recent seasons. He's scored goals despite bad performances for the team. Here is Mbappe getting to the edge of the penalty area and then losing control of the ball. It's gobbled up by Gregor Kobel. And with Füllkrug, I don't think he's going to start at the European Championships though, because despite his reliability, Kai Havertz, I think he's going to get that role under Julian Nagelsmann, and Füllkrug will have to be the super sub. It's a poor ball infield by Jadon Sancho, given away to Paris Saint-Germain when he was aiming at Sabitzer.
Sometimes though, isn't it? It's not just the centre forward, he's not just there to score goals. Olivier Giroud won a World Cup without a shot on target, and he was pivotal in the way that they played in that tournament.
I think they'll be good in the tournament, Germany.
Oh, they will be. But sometimes when you've got a centre forward that plays a particular way, actually you're not relying on him solely for goals. It's actually to bring other people into the team and create that focal point.
And they certainly have players on the left and right that they can generate chances from, Musiala being one of those. Here is Mbappe, edge of the penalty area. Back here, it's 24 minutes gone. Dortmund 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0 in the Champions League semi-final first leg. Last night 2-2 Bayern against Real Madrid. We'll bring you second legs next week live on the Talksport network. Tomorrow night Chelsea against Tottenham Hotspur. And then on Friday night Luton against Everton, which is not as crucial for both as it was a week or so ago. Everton are already safe, but what about Luton Town? Can they take advantage of that and try and drag themselves away from the relegation places? That's Friday night on TalkSport. Saturday, Arsenal-Bournemouth is the game. It's a 12:30 start, and then Sunday we're around the grounds in the WSL, the Premier League. I'll be at Brighton, Aston Villa on Sunday, Liverpool-Tottenham as well on Sunday afternoon, Chelsea-West Ham. Ball on the right-hand side, Ashraf Hakimi trying to squeeze the ball into the centre. And Maatsen manages to get it clear, but it's gone out for a goal kick anyway. It's going to be a Dortmund ball away to our left-hand side. PSG boss Luis Enrique not happy about that decision. He's actually enhanced his reputation even further in Paris, I think. He has been given more autonomy than others have been afforded in previous incarnations. He is viewed favourably by the fans, the players, the press alike. He's already secured them the league. As Danny was saying earlier on, it's kind of a given.
That's mandatory, isn't it?
10th title in 11 years, not so much of a surprise, but this is where they are going to be judged at their progress in this competition, because this is the one that the Qatari ownership have been gearing up for quite some time and never really been able to pull it off.
Well, it's been a project ever since Carlo Ancelotti was manager and Leonardo was the sporting director. That's a long time ago that this project has been ongoing.
Qataris took charge in 2011. I think it's been at the forefront of their mind since then. It's got a look close once. Behind closed doors they played Bayern Munich in the final in 2020, I think that was. They were knocked out by Bayern in the last 16 last year. They don't want to be knocked out by another German team when the final was within touching distance. William Brandt profits from a poor throw by Nuno Mendes, squeezed through towards Sabitzer, but it took a flick and that just meant that the ball evaded Sabitzer. It's cleared by Paris Saint-Germain from the left side towards the other side of the pitch, Hakimi, and then they start to motor downfield. Zaire Emery challenged brilliantly by Schlotterbeck. One back by Borussia Dortmund.
I would also say that the draw has been favourable to PSG. It's not the Barcelona of old by any stretch of the imagination.
And a decision that went quite favourably for them as well in the game against Newcastle, if I remember rightly.
And Dortmund, it's not the strongest team Dortmund have had for some time. So I think Dortmund have had a fair win behind them to get to this stage. Sorry, PSG have had a fair win to get them to this stage.
Here is Dortmund coming forward through the Norwegian Ryerson onto Brandt. Blonde hair tied back with the Alice band to Jadon Sancho. Looks to try and trick his way past Fabian Ruiz. Goes to centre field where Emre Can has the ball in the centre circle. Work wide to Maatsen. Further wide to Adeyemi. Skips past Hakimi. Gets beyond him. Then tries to get past Marquinhos. Does brilliantly. Draws a foul over by the corner flag. It's going to be a Borussia Dortmund free kick 5 yards out from the quadrant over on the left-hand side.
He's a handful. He's a real problem. He's strong, he's powerful, he's very, very quick. His energy levels are superb, forwards and backwards. Hakimi tried to get really, really tight to him there as he had his first touch. And he knocked it past with a little bit of help of a ricochet, and then just knocked him out of the way.
So here's the free kick, far side, 29 minutes gone. He's started the game well, Adeyemi, over on that left-hand side, where we expected Sancho to play, but he's come over to the right tonight and hasn't done as much damage as Adeyemi. Anthony Taylor just getting involved in some pushing and shoving inside the 18-yard box, just trying to alleviate the tensions before this free kick comes in from Julian Brandt. Brandt, who so far this season already has a few goals to his name, flicks the ball in towards the near post. Emre Can tries to get up there and flick it on, so does Mats Hummels. It's squeezed away by the PSG defence. A lovely touch by Jadon Sancho, takes it wide towards the right hand side, tricks his way inside the box, beats three players, sets it back. Here's Brandt with the effort, it takes a deflection off Marquinhos. In fact, it almost took Marquinhos' head off. He went collapsing to the ground, but that all came for some excellent dynamic footwork from Sancho. They've given it away again. Fabian Ruiz gives it straight to Brandt. Sancho down the right side, collected by Schlotterbeck. His ball in towards the far post. It's kicked behind by Hakimi, who shanked it over the bar, and it's out for a corner.
That came off the outside of his shin. I mean, Hakimi had no idea where that was going. But again, good pressure from Dortmund. Shot came in from Brandt, was on target. Probably gets saved by the goalkeeper, was heading his way. He'd made a couple of steps to make sure he was going to cover it. But again, that's what they need to do. They need to keep up the pressure on PSG.
That was terrific from Sancho. Running at the PSG defence, making space for Julian Brandt, whose effort was repelled by Marquinhos. And then, as they were unsettled and failing to clear, they have now won another corner. Half an hour gone. Dortmund 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Emre Can just trying to draw a few players out of the maelstrom to run at this delivery from Julian Brandt right side. It's deep towards the far post. Headed back by Hummels across the face of goal. Kept in by Brandt on this near side, who's now offside. It's going to be a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain.
PSG are not great defensively. Saw that in the last two games they played against Barcelona. You can get at them. They will give you chances. So Dortmund have got to be patient. Just keep working into that final third, and they will have opportunities, whether they can take them or not.
Interestingly, I think we probably look at PSG and we look at their recent results where they've scored quite a lot of goals in the last few games. I think they won 3 games in a row, 4-1 before the 3-3 at the weekend. So they've been scoring a lot of goals, but in the Champions League, despite creating 169 chances so far this campaign, Paris actually have only converted 19 of those with a conversion rate of 8.1%, and they rank third of the 4 sides left in the competition in terms of shot conversion.
But because they rely on Kylian Mbappe, pretty much, to score all their goals.
Dembele driving down the right-hand side, burst towards the edge of the box. Oh, he's been outdone by Adeyemi again. Outsped by Adeyemi,
he's getting a move, is what you're about to say.
Faster than a Ferrari.
In the summer.
Yeah. And he might well be off ski in the summer if he keeps playing like this.
Is he as fast as a Red Bull, though?
Well, that is a big question. I don't think he'll be going to Leipzig. 0-0 the score. There is another goal in the game at Prenton Park in the WSL. Mark Wilson.
It's Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1. It's an own goal from Cuthbert after Gemma Bonner won a flick on at the corner. Cuthbert deflected past her own keeper. Chelsea's title hopes hanging by a thread. It's Liverpool 2, Chelsea 1.
This is not good news for Emma Hayes. Not good news for Chelsea. And that will leave them some way off the post, 6 points behind Manchester City at the top of the table. Dortmund 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. 32 minutes gone though in the Champions League tonight. I wonder just how much that Champions League game at the weekend took out of Chelsea, losing 2-0 to Barcelona. It's a sold out Stamford Bridge. Here is Luca Hernandez driving up towards the halfway line, slowly now, just inching his way further forward as he plays it square to Marquinhos, immediately challenged by Adeyemi. They've long been famed for producing young talent that goes on to greater things elsewhere. They sell them, and that's how they sustain themselves, making money, and he could be the latest cab off the rank. Here's Mbappe, out towards the left side. Barcola takes it out of the sky, looks to take it down the touchline. Across comes Rice and can't get the better of him. Barcola into the centre, almost came through to Dembele, just about evaded Vitinha, and was eventually cleared away by the Dortmund defence. That was a chance.
It was, but again, unless it falls to Mbappe, you're not convinced that PSG are going to score. Barcola is okay, but he's not prolific.
Here's Hakimi down the right side, driving into the box, dispossessed by Schlotterbeck, picked up by Mats. Down the left side, Adeyemi brings it clear, and then Brad can't get on the end of it. They turned it over again. Another wave of PSG pressure is coming.
But it's pressure, Sam, without really creating great opportunities, isn't it?
Zaire Emery looking to squeeze it through to Mbappe. Dug out and cleared away by Madsen again, up towards the halfway line.
Keeper hasn't really had a shot to save of note as yet.
No shots on target so far from PSG. Hakimi trying to get the better of Adeyemi again. Good luck with that. He's outpaced him once more, done his defensive duty diligently, and he's won a goal kick for his teammates.
He's just put about 10 million on his feet. I mean, because this is, when you look at, Premier League teams want pace, power, energy, technical ability. He's got all of them. But the fact that he's been very good going forward, but then he's turned around and tracked back, there'll be loads of coaches going, perfect, that's exactly what I want. And Dortmund will be going, rubbing their hands together, going, yep, you can have him, but the price is going to be high.
Yeah, well, you would have thought so. 22 years of age, German international, the closest thing they've got to a young sellable superstar. He scored in the 1-1 between the two in December, so PSG know all about him. And I'm sure he'll feature heavily in the plans of Nagelsmann. Here is Füllkrug into the penalty area, taking down the long ball and smashing it low beyond Donnarumma and putting Borussia Dortmund into the league. Borussia Dortmund embracing their underdog status once again and causing a big surprise and a headache for Luis Enrique. They threaten to go long when necessary, and when they do, they have a big, tall, strapping striker who loves a goal, especially against esteemed opposition. His 15th of the season might just be his most important. It's a rocket from the boot of Niklas Füllkrug. It's Borussia Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0.
What a finish. What a magnificent strike that is. His first touch was absolutely superb. Took it down on his right foot. He lets it have a couple of bounces, and he's probably 2 yards inside the 18-yard box and absolutely thunders it. People will question Donnarumma. It's sort of at his near post, but I think it's just the sheer pace of that strike. Absolutely walloped with his left foot. Brilliant finish. But I talked about it. PSG cannot defend. One straight ball over the top, and Füllkrug is in.
Third goal in 11 matches in the Champions League this season for Niklas Füllkrug.
It's onside, don't need to check it.
No, they're not. They're worried more about the issue for Luca Hernandez, who's had an injury-interrupted season. Almost seemingly always has an injury-interrupted season. It's the first time for a while, in fact, only the third time this season that Luis Enrique has been able to field his first choice back four, and by the looks of it, I think he's going to have to change it again. He seems to have hurt himself when chasing back with Füllkrug. He went in left-footed to try and stop him on the edge of the penalty area, was late, his knee twisted awkwardly as he made the challenge. I think he's got a big problem here.
Well, he's now up on his feet, putting some weight on it. I think he'll give it a go for a little bit. But Füllkrug, what a finish that is. I mean, that is Stuart Pearce power with the left foot.
Last night, Leroy Sané scored a terrific goal. He brought the hammer down on an effort cutting in from the right-hand side. It was a brilliant shot at ferocious pace. This was hit with similar venom.
And it's a difficult one. His touch was brilliant, the ball over the top. It has a couple of bounces, and on that third bounce, it absolutely smacks it on the half volley with his left foot. And it's just sheer pace that beats Donnarumma. Absolutely magnificent strike. But you've got to question the defence. You know, they're not in a straight line. Marquinhos is a yard or so behind the rest of the defence, and that's what plays him onside.
Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Paris Saint-Germain have got to come from behind. They've done it before on their Champions League travels this season. Their away form actually has been pretty good in the French domestic league. They're unbeaten this season. They were absolutely battered away at St James's Park.
But I just think it goes to show, if you stop Mbappe in this team, you stop 80% of their team.
Fernandes doesn't look particularly comfortable as he moves on the halfway line.
He'll be fine. He'll run it off.
Ball out wide towards the right. 39 minutes gone. Dembele tries to return the ball to Hakimi. Low ball into the near post. Cut out by Schlotterbeck. And then funneled out to Adeyemi on the far side. Brandt then turns it back to Madsen. I don't think he wanted it in that left full-back position. Got it anyway. Tried to dig it out. Finds Fulkrug. Brilliant. Up to Adeyemi. Holds onto it well. Draws a tackle from Zaire Emery. And it's out for a throw-in.
Do you know what I like about Dortmund? As you said earlier, they're not afraid to go direct. They're not afraid to mix it up. When it's on to play, they will play. But when they're under a little bit of pressure, they just go, you know what? Put your foot through it, get it up the other end of the pitch, and then we reset. Absolutely. They've got a really good mix and a really good balance. They're not trying to be something that they're not.
No, they're happy to be the insurgent club. The establishment of Bayern and Real, the money-drenched PSG are all ahead of them in the betting for the Champions League, and with good reason. But they are quite happy being the underdogs. They're embracing it. Emre Can pointing to the fact that there are only 3 games left in the Champions League, and if we are the underdogs, then we have maybe more hunger, maybe less experience, but certainly great talent. Just seen a semi-automated offside replay to show that
he's a yard
definitely
onside,
yeah. But there is more problems here for PSG. Luka Hernandez has now gone down, and I think he is going to be replaced before half-time.
He gets caught on the follow-through, just there. As he goes across to make the block, he's not quick enough, and the follow-through from Fulkrug, it's actually Fulkrug's standing leg, his right leg, that catches the outside of his knee. So I think it's more of it's an impact injury rather than a twist.
Career that has been blighted with injury over the course of the last few years. Didn't make the World Cup because of a serious problem. He's being replaced here by Luca Baraldo, who was PSG's only January signing. Baraldo will go to left back, I think, here, and they might switch it around actually, bring Hakimi into the centre and maybe Nuno Mendes go out to the right-hand side. Let's just see how they shape up, because it's a full-back for a central defender. It looks as if Baraldo's going to left-back. Hernandez has gone straight down the touchline. Maybe Baraldo will go alongside Marquinhos at the heart of defence.
Yeah, he has. I don't think you want to lose Mendes's pace and athleticism down this left-hand side.
Same with Hakimi on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Sometimes, it's not ideal, but making one change is better than making 2, if that makes sense.
Here he is, Baraldo, getting a touch of the ball for the first time. Out to Mendes left side. Barcola comes deeper. Mendes almost dispossessed. He was dispossessed, and Sancho is trying to get away down the right-hand side. Plays it against Nuno Mendes, and then goes out for a throw-in to Paris Saint-Germain. Claims of handball against Baraldo on the edge of the penalty area. Come to anything. Donnarumma's got it at his feet. Brandt is pushing him high. Brandt is doing all the pressing almost seemingly on his own at this moment in time, as Paris Saint-Germain bring the ball out of defence. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0 on Talksport. Dortmund know that keeping Mbappe quiet, restricting his influence is going to be vital if they're going to get through tonight, but you can sometimes keep him quiet for 89 minutes and then he comes up with a moment of genius. 43 goals in all competitions tells its own story. He was pictured in a woolly hat on arrival on German soil yesterday. It was 22.5 degrees Celsius. Maybe he's under the weather. Maybe that would be Dortmund's hope anyway.
Maybe it was a fashion statement, Sam.
You never know.
No, you're right. You will never know.
Here is Sabitzer into Füllkrug. I got a bit of a plus given to me on my fashion choice today. Even you thought I looked a little bit pop starish. Here is Füllkrug inside the area. Sabitzer with an effort, saved down low to Donnarumma, and he pushes it past the post. But Sabitzer's come close. Now Matson has gone in for a challenge with Marquinhos. He's gone down. Marquinhos is running away. Anthony Taylor has said no penalty. He had a good view of it, but it might be that Stuart Atwell looks at that. Sabitzer's effort was saved well by Donnarumma, but when it came back, was there contact between Marquinhos and Matson inside the penalty area? Goal in the WSL. Here's Mark Wilson.
We've had 2 goals, Sam. Chelsea equalised. Aggie Beaver-Jones with a second to make it 2-2, but Liverpool have gone straight up the other end and scored again. Confirm the scorer in a moment, but it's Liverpool 3, Chelsea 2.
Back here, no penalty for Ian Matson. A wag of the finger from Anthony Taylor says that. There wasn't even a constructive VAR check. Adeyemi into Füllkrug, back to Sabitzer. His volley was saved well by Donnarumma. And then Matson got it on the right side of the area, got behind Hakimi. It was a waft of a foot from Marquinhos. I tell you, even looking at the replay, I'm not 100% sure it wasn't a penalty.
At first view, I thought no chance, but we're a long, long way from it. Almost impossible to see. The first save was good. It's a good strike, but it was straight at.
I'd like a closer replay, actually. We're not being shown.
No, we've had one very, very quick replay of that. The first strike was a good strike by Sabitzer, but it was straight at Donnarumma. You'd expect him to save that, although it was powerful.
I think that could have been a penalty.
Well, my first thought was no chance, but like I said, we're a long, long way away from it. And then having only seen one very brief replay, I'm unsure. I need to see it again.
Füllkrug wins it, picks it up, plays it forward to Sabitzer. Liam Kiernan with the goal for Liverpool that has given them the advantage in the game again. 3-2 at Prenton Park. Bad news for Chelsea. We got 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Live on Talksport tonight. Good game again in the Champions League semi-final. We had an epic game last night. We're hoping for it tonight. We had an epic quarter-final lineup as well, didn't we? And Dortmund certainly embraced that epic, classic, historic quarter-final. They know they've got a chance to make history. Here we go.
No,
gets the ball.
Yeah,
We've
no
seen
penalty.
a replay of it.
But does he catch him? I'm not even convinced he catches him.
On the way through. Yeah. Both feet were
good decision, Anthony Taylor. Not often I say that.
Mbappe wide to the left. Now it's picked up by Barcola for Paris Saint-Germain. Dortmund 1, Paris 0. Live on Talksport tonight. Marquinhos down the right side, getting to the edge of the penalty area is Dembele, looking for the equaliser, goes on the outside, gets to the byline, low cross into the centre, missed by Kobel, and cleared away by Schlotterbeck inside the penalty area. Kobel getting down, but completely missing that cross. Opening the door for Paris Saint-Germain. Another goal at the WSL game at Prenton Park. Mark Wilson.
It's 3-3 now. It's an own goal after a Chelsea shot hit the woodwork, bounced back off the keeper Tegan Micah. Chelsea not giving up without a fight here. Liverpool 3, Chelsea 3.
3-3 between Liverpool and Chelsea in the WSL. Maybe there is a twist in the tale to come in the next few minutes or so. 2 minutes of added time here.
What time did that kick off, Sam?
7 o'clock. Should be finished soon. 6 minutes of normal time plus stoppage time to go in that game. Here is Barcola being wrestled, wanting a free kick. The referee shakes his head. Sancho picks it up 10 yards short of the halfway line. Back to the near touchline of Ryerson in field, collected by Fulkrug, drops deep, plays it out wide. Ryerson with a big cross towards the far edge of the box. Adeyemi chasing, he knows he's going to beat Hakimi to it, gets there, then tries to play it back off Hakimi, but couldn't get it under control this time, and it goes out of play.
I think Dortmund will be absolutely delighted if they go in at half-time 1-0 up. They've played well. They put PSG under all sorts of pressure. They've kept Mbappe very quiet by his standards. I said hardly a shot of note on the Dortmund goal. And I think at the moment you have to say Dortmund are good for their 1-0 lead.
Be a little bit concerned the goalkeeper almost giving the ball away in a tight situation. Here's Adeyemi combining with Sancho over on that far side. Sancho's drifted over to join him now. Adeyemi lays it off to Sancho, tries to take on Zaire. Emery has gone over to meet him, beats him, gets towards the byline, needs a bit of support, has it from Maatsen. Adeyemi is over there too. Maatsen with lovely close control. Now he faces up Hakimi. Hakimi brings him down. It's going to be a free kick. And they've all got the beating of Achraf Hakimi, who's struggling a little bit on his return to signal Aduna Park.
That should be a booking. That's the third or fourth time he's had to bring somebody down. Sabitzer, I think, was just booked for something similar, wasn't he? No, he wasn't actually. No. Again, if that's the Premier League, that's a blatant booking. But that's the third or fourth foul that he's had, Hakimi. But this is dangerous. Right on the stroke of half-time.
William Bragg. It's a short hockey corner and a crowded, congested 6-yard box. He floats it up towards the edge of the area. Sabitzer hits it into the ground, and Donnarumma, well, it was an easy catch. Well, it looked that way anyway, and then he juggled with it.
He played a bit of patch cake, didn't he?
Just a little bit. Half time. And Borussia Dortmund, who do not lose at home in the Champions League, are not losing at home in the Champions League. They are determined to ensure tonight is no different from usual, and Nicholas Fulkrug has put them in front at the break. A long ball up to him, a turn and hit on the edge of the 18-yard box. It was some hit as well. It's been a very good first 45 minutes for the home team. Paris Saint-Germain haven't quite clicked into gear. Dortmund 1, Paris 0.
Well, PSG have specialised in coming from behind. They were 3-1 down at home to Le Havre at the weekend, drew 3-3. They were 3-1 down just before half-time of the second leg in the quarter-finals away to Barcelona. Ended up winning 6-4 on aggregate. So if they fall behind, and they have fallen behind in Dortmund, we know it is definitely not all over. But Danny Mills, PSG, going to have to play a lot better than that. They barely threatened Dortmund, who have looked very lively.
I think they've put them under an awful lot of pressure. They've worked much harder than PSG. They've kept Mbappe pretty quiet. Their tactics have been good. They've defended deep. They've defended in numbers. They've been organised, and they've denied space in behind, which is, we know what PSG want. You know, Dembele wants to run in behind. Barcola wants to run in behind. Mbappe wants to run in behind. So the fact that they've denied all that space, PSG don't have that archetypal number 10 that can suddenly just pick a pass out of nothing, drop his shoulder, slide somebody, through him behind. So no, I think all credit to Dortmund. They've played incredibly well. They're going to have to match that performance in the second half, undoubtedly. But if they can keep Mbappe quiet, you nullify probably 80% of what PSG are.
The Dortmund threat has come out wide, not so much Sancho on the right, Adeyemi on the left. This is somebody who was Munich born. He came through Bayern Munich's youth system for a short period before going off elsewhere, and was at Red Bull Salzburg, then going to Borussia Dortmund, the path trodden by Erling Haaland before him. He's shown up really well, really strong, dynamic, runs at his fullback. He's caused nightmares.
Oh, he's been magnificent, I think. When you look at Sancho on the other side, there's been moments you think, oh, is it going to happen? No, it hasn't quite. Not quite been there for him. But Adeyemi's got everything. His work rate is tremendous. His pace, his athleticism is off the charts. And he's got fantastic technical ability as well. He's got everything that a top Premier League club would be looking for in a wide player, a wide midfield player or a winger. If he's been putting these sort of performances in for most of the season, every chance there's a lot of big clubs will be after him.
Let's talk about the goal. It's a fantastic ball up from Schlotterbeck from his own half. Fulkrug's definitely onside, and the finish is exceptional. It's just a brilliant goal from Dortmund that's completely undone PSG.
It's Route 1, it's direct. I don't think... Well, they're not. Dortmund are not ashamed of doing that, and why should you be? It's effective. PSG can't defend. You know, they're all over the place at times. Their back four, it wasn't a flat back four, it was more like a W. And that's why he was able to just check his run, drop back in and then run in behind. Luca Hernandez couldn't catch him. It was a great first touch, but the hit was magnificent. Like I said, Stuart Pearce would have been very, very proud of that left foot half volley. It was absolutely drilled into the near post, and it's just sheer pace that beats Donnarumma.
It is, and that's what separates the two sides. Borussia Dortmund leading PSG 1-0. Live on Talksport, second half to come, and they're approaching the end of the 90 at Prenton Park, where it is still Liverpool 3, Chelsea 3. They're into 9 minutes added on at Prenton Park, so Chelsea, who need the 3 points tonight, one really isn't good enough for them. They're about to go 5 points behind Manchester City. They will have 3 games left. City will have 2 games left. It's a big night in the WSL. Liverpool 3, Chelsea 3. They're into added time. We'll bring you the full time on Talksport. You're listening to Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
What to give Colin from the office for his birthday? Sure, you know how he feels about spreadsheet maintenance and the latest upgrade of the work IT system, but his hopes, loves and needs... Nope, no idea. So, why not give a scratch card from the National Lottery? What's not to like about that? The National Lottery. Best gift ever. Please gift responsibly, and remember, you need to be 18 to buy, gift and play. Even though it's a gift, rules and procedures apply.
Sometimes you just need to get away. And for the Agglewall family, it was well overdue. They wanted to know exactly what they were getting, like knowing their kids stay and eat a delicious breakfast for free.
Yes!
And no need to lug heavy bags, with free parking at over 500 hotels. Enjoy the same feeling whatever the trip. Premier Inn. Rest easy. Book direct for the best rates at premierinn.com. T's and C's apply. Up to 2 kids stay and eat breakfast free with a full paying adult.
So many small cars to choose from. This one looks like that one, which looks like... Hang on. The new Suzuki Swift. This is the one.
Yep, standard reaction to the new Suzuki Swift, which comes with serious style, a choice of cool colours, and loads of tech, as standard. Oh, and it's available with 0% APR for 2 years. Want to be one of the first behind the wheel? Search Suzuki Swift to book your test drive and get set to feel good different. Participating dealers only. Suzuki Financial Services Limited. T's and C's apply. See cars.suzuki.co.uk/offers.
You got a little wager with Paddy Power on this one then?
Yeah, mate. Big man to score anytime. I'm backing him.
And it looks like it's the big man who's coming off. Oh, he's going to struggle to score from the bench, pal.
Oh. Fear not, punter, because with Paddy Power's super sub, your bet carries over to the player coming on.
Y'all ready for this?
So now, all subs are super. Paddy Power. Football, you gotta love it. Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Pre-match and in-play bets on qualifying player outcome selections only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
If your client is not happy with the quality of your work and wants compensation because they allege it's amateurish, unprofessional and childlike, Hiscox could help protect you. The story of your business. Underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance. Subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
It's time to spring into makeover mode with the Oak Furnitureland Bank Holiday Sale, where you can save on every range. Save on a luxurious bed for waking up ready to seize brighter days, a stylish sofa to sprawl on once the garden's prepped for summer, or a stunning dining table and chairs for entertaining the night away. And right now, enjoy 3 years interest-free credit and no deposit to pay from just $4.99. The Oak Furnitureland Bank Holiday Sale ends Monday. Finance T's and C's apply. Oak Furnitureland is a credit broker, not a lender.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. That's why they got me, Chris Rock, to tell you about BetMGM's golden offers. Sign up to BetMGM, bet £10, and get £40 in free bets. We're making every game an occasion. Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Champions League live on Talksport with Village Hotels. With 33 locations across the UK, Village Hotels have everything under one roof for a great breakaway.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. Talksport.
There's been another goal at Prenton Park in the WSL in injury time. Mark Wilson.
What a game this is. It's Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3, and it's Gemma Bonner who was denied a goal earlier on after Erin Cuthbert got the final touch. It's a Liverpool corner. It's drilled in low towards the near post, and Bonner with a bullet header has found the far corner. Liverpool in front. Remember, Chelsea need to win here. They've got round about 4 minutes of the minimum 9 added on here to get an equaliser, but they need more than that. Great game here. Bonner with a goal. Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3.
We'll be back there for full time, but Emma Hayes honestly turning into Ange Postecoglou tonight. They cannot defend corners, Chelsea, and that title is slipping away. Dortmund lead PSG 1-0 in the Champions League. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Dortmund 5-3 on to win this first leg. PSG are 19-4. The draw is 13-5. Kylian Mbappe to score any time was 5-4. That's now been price boosted to 2-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
So I've got Chelsea Spurs live on TalkSport tomorrow. We've got Aston Villa against Olympiacos live on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night in the Europa Conference League semi-final. And while Villa boss Unai Emery is no stranger to getting to the later stages of continental competitions, he still feels that finishing in the top 4 in the league is his priority.
It's not changing. It's not changing. My first message when we started the season. The most important in 38 matches is Premier League. Then we can add FA Cup, Carabao Cup and Conference League. And in case we are getting at the end of the season being contender and being in, like we are now in conference, of course, the importance is changing a little bit. But now still the first objective Premier League, but we are not refusing a Conference League.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised by that when you're so close to a trophy, albeit the Europa Conference League. Maybe, just maybe, especially with the lead they've got over Spurs, you would think that he might make that the priority. But maybe the Villa fans are on side. I think they're on side with pretty much anything Unai Emery does. That's live on TalkSport 2 tomorrow night. Aston Villa against Olympiacos, semi-finals of the Europa Conference League. Right, let's go to Prenton Park because we're fast approaching full time. And is it full time on Chelsea, almost on Chelsea's title hopes in the WSL, Mark Wilson?
Yeah, it's looking that way. Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3. We're into the 8th of the minimum 9 added on minutes. It's all Chelsea at the moment as they chase down. Even a point would help them, but they need all 3 realistically if they're going to push Manchester City all the way. What a topsy-turvy game. Aggie Beaver-Jones got the opening goal on 8 minutes to put Chelsea in front, a header from a corner, but it was an equaliser from a set piece for Liverpool at the start of the second half. Deserved equaliser as well. A corner from the Liverpool right, Roman Hogg headed in unmarked to make it 1-1. Then Liverpool went in front after Gemma Bonner's flick header was flicked on at the near post. It came off Erin Cuthbert, deflected past their own keeper, and Liverpool were 2-1 up, but Chelsea kept flooding forward. They got an equaliser. Aggie Beaver-Jones bundled in from close range to make it 2-2 on 79. I'll just pause there because Chelsea have got a corner here. The keeper's coming forward. They need something out of this game, the Blues, or MSA's season is unravelling. Dumped out of the cup, heartbreaking defeat in the Champions League at the weekend, and now their title hopes are dangling by a thread. Keeper's up, they've missed it, and it's out for a goal kick. So at 2-2, you fancy with 11 left Chelsea are going to go on and win it, but the sub Leanne Kiernan for Liverpool, lovely ball behind the Chelsea defence, in on goal, took it round the keeper. Kiernan with a great finish to make it 3-2, but back came Chelsea. An own goal again after a goalmouth scramble. It was Daniels who cleared it off her own line for Liverpool, but sadly for her, she kicked it straight at the keeper, Mika, and it went in. That was 3-3, still with time remaining. And then that wonderful, wonderful header for Bono, who's making 150th Liverpool appearance tonight. What a night for her and for Liverpool. The home fans are going crazy here. We've played all the time. Added on here. We're into added on time of added on time. All eyes on the official. The Liverpool bench is saying, where's the final whistle? Chelsea are coming forward, one last chance. They're going to need a miracle if they don't get at least a point here. There's a ball hammered away from the Liverpool goal. Anywhere will do for them. This is going to be a huge win for them. They could still finish fourth in the table. They've got a big clash with Manchester United here. But the big story tonight will be Chelsea, who will be in arrears at the top and games running out. There's a last chance here for them, 25 yards out from goal. Liverpool get it away, and there could be a chance on the break, but Hampton is out quickly to deal with that. She'll knock the ball long and downfield. We still play on here. We're into the 100th minute here. The referee blows the whistle, and that might be the whistle blown on Chelsea's WSL title hopes. They needed to come here and win to keep on the heat on Manchester City, but it's the Reds who are cheering here at Prenton Park. A fantastic game in the WSL, and it's Liverpool who've come out on top. Chelsea's title hopes are all but over. What a horrible 17 days it's been for the Blues. Out of the Cup, out of Europe, and now possibly out of the WSL title race. It ends at Prenton Park. Liverpool 4, Chelsea 3.
And Emma Hayes probably can't believe it, but she may well end up in her final season at Chelsea trophyless, which is unusual in itself. Chelsea now 6 points behind Man City. City have 2 games left, Chelsea 3. City's goal difference is 8 better than Chelsea's. Sunday's a big day in the WSL. We've got updates on the Sunday session on the WSL games on Talksport, and there's 2 commentaries on Talksport 2. Manchester City against Arsenal is huge. 2:15 live on Talksport 2, and then 6:45 later in the evening, Chelsea take on Bristol City. Well, they definitely must win that. Tough game for City against Arsenal, but if they beat the Gunners, they're on the brink of their first title since 2016. City's final game's away to Villa on the 18th. Chelsea have Spurs away 15th of May, and then final day they go to Manchester United. But Manchester City are looking likely WSL champions after Liverpool beat Chelsea 4-3 tonight at Prenton Park. Right, let's focus on the Champions League. Teams are coming back out. Fulkrug, the goal scorer. Who remembers the Heads Gone feature on Drive years ago? Well, Nicholas Fulkrug starred in that when, as a youth player, an opponent's tooth became lodged in his head during a game. The German striker starring again on Talksport tonight. Dortmund 1, PSG 0. Here's Danny Mills and Sam Matterface.
Nicholas Fulkrug about to get us underway at the start of the second half. He is tying his shoelaces on the halfway line as Borussia Dortmund get off to what they hope is going to be a racing start at the start of the second half. There are 6-7 Borussia Dortmund players lined up on the halfway line, and there is a special set piece here planned. Emre Can chips it out to the right hand side, and immediately they're on the attack with Jadon Sancho down the outside of the defender Nuno Mendes. He plays it into Brandt on the edge of the penalty area, and they're on the front foot from the very off. Here is Ryerson with a cross into the box, looking for Fulkrug, who pushes the defender in the back, and Baraldo goes down, wins the free kick. There's a fast start to the second half, 23 seconds played. Dortmund 1, PSG 0. No changes at half time for either of the two teams. Here's Danny Mills.
Dortmund have got to do exactly what they did in the first half. Can they maintain that energy? Can they maintain that press, that organisation, that concentration? They were absolutely superb. They've certainly started in the same vein. In the first minute of the second half, they kept Mbappe very, very quiet during that first half. But as we know, it only takes him a few seconds to change a game.
Dortmund team. Kobel in goal, Ryerson, Schlotterbeck, Hummels and Martsen has been booked. Emre Can and Sabitzer, Brandt playing in the 10, Adeyemi on the left-hand side, Sancho on the right, Fulkrug through the centre. He's got the only goal of this game so far. Go through the PSG team in just a second. They're shooting from left to right. All white tonight with a thick red and dark blue band going through the middle of their jerseys. Navy blue trim. And they've got Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, who had a tough first 45 minutes, Marquinhos, Baraldo and Nuno Mendes now the back four after Hernandez was taken off in the first half. Zaire Emery, Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz in midfield. Dembele and Barcola flanking Mbappe. Here is Dembele. going down the outside of the penalty area, getting into the box and getting to the byline, produces a cross, blocked by Schlotterbeck, and it's out for a corner the first of the second half.
Dortmund are defending well. They're not diving in, they're showing the wide players down the line, down the outside, and then they're making tackles when they have to.
Ball crossed in by Dembele after a short corner was taken by Fabian Ruiz, headed away by Mats Hummels out towards the far side of the pitch, and Nuno Mendes. Barcola takes over, Brandt gets in there, Nuno Mendes picks it up again, his low cross is blocked by Sabitzer, comes back in from about 25 yards out, left hand side, the shot goes straight into Koval's arms, and it's an easy save for the goalkeeper. It was Andy Barcola whose effort took the merest of little flicks off the defender on the way through. May well have just taken the pace off the ball. 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund.
Dortmund will be absolutely delighted so far the way that this game is going. They will be very, very aware that they've got to keep Mbappe quiet. He hasn't been involved in the game too much. There was a little spell for 5 minutes, between about 10-15 minutes in the first half, but apart from that, he hasn't really had the opportunity to run at anybody, to dribble at anybody. So, job done so far. If Dortmund can nick another one, which meant they would take a 2-0 lead to Paris, I think then we've got a game on.
He's been flagged offside twice. He's had no attempts on goal so far in the game, on or off target. Kylian Mbappe, he has made 17 passes, completed 94% of them up until this point in the game. 1-0, 5 minutes.
So that would say he's been quiet, really, in terms of what he's done. No key passes, no chances created, etc.
Fabian Ruiz takes the ball down high up inside Dortmund territory, poked back to Barcola, left side in from the touchline. Mbappe does cause Sabitzer a problem here. He's wrestled to the ground. Free kick is given to Paris.
Must be quite hard for Mbappe. He knows he's leaving. He knows he's going to be going to Real Madrid, and he probably realises that this team is so reliant on him, and a lot of these players aren't necessarily up to his standards.
People thinks that is the case though, because they have spent the last couple of years trying to build a team that compete at this level on a regular basis. Last 16 last year, yes. Champions League finals 2020. Getting that cohesiveness around the big stars has been a problem. Adeyemi's just picked the ball and he's gone sprinting behind Marquinhos. Füllkrug waiting for the delivery at the back post. There's a slip by Sancho. He's got hold of it after regathering his footing. Goes to the byline. He tries to get the cross into the centre, but Zaire Emery came back and stopped him, and it goes out and away for a corner kick. You just wonder what would have happened if Adeyemi, who sprinted like a 100-metre runner down the left-hand side to get beyond Marquinhos, had got the ball to Sancho before Sancho had slipped. How deadly that could have been for Paris Saint-Germain.
Adeyemi gave Marquinhos there 10 yards and still beats him. Unbelievable pace, but you're right. But that Sancho, he just doesn't look assured, I would say.
Brandt's corner in towards the near post. Hummels rose. Füllkrug almost got something on it. Sabitzer sends it back from 10 yards outside the box, down the right side. Brandt trying to keep it alive. Matinha goes across. He looks to clear, and it's high up by him towards Mbappe. His control is poor. Sancho pinches it, turns it over, plays it infield. Chan takes strides forward. It's helped onto Füllkrug inadvertently by Dembele. Then they win it back, turn it over, and race clear with Nuno Mendes charging up the pitch for Paris Saint-Germain. On the outside of the 6-yard, the centre circle, plays it wide to Dembele. Hakimi switches the play to Mbappe in the left channel. He's inside the box now, getting onto his left foot and hits the inside of the post with a rasping effort which left the goalkeeper for dead. Here he is again, cutting infield, gets it back towards the edge of the area. He hits the other post from Hakimi and comes back out for the 6-yard box. It's chaos inside the Dortmund penalty area, and eventually the ball goes out of play and away for a throw-in, and somehow they haven't conceded, and it's only because of the woodwork.
Oh, Koval, go and buy a lottery ticket tonight. I mean, that's unbelievable. I said you've got to keep your eye on Kylian Mbappe. He bends it round the goalkeeper, comes off the inside of the post, agonisingly. Somehow doesn't go into the back of the net, and then after the pinball after that, it falls to Hakimi, who tries to put it low into the other corner, and he hits the base of the post. Dortmund's goal leading a very charmed life in that 30-second spell.
Here is Dembele down the right side. Low cross blocked by Martin. It's out for a corner. It's a key time to keep your head if you're a Borussia Dortmund defender. Paris Saint-Germain just baring their teeth for the first time in the game. And they've pinched the ball here, and Adeyemi is running clear with it. Ruiz tried to pull his pants down, and he still kept hold of the ball and shrugged off the defender. Marquinhos then did the same. Ruiz is going to get a yellow card. It's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, Anthony Taylor tried to allow the play to go on. He was always going to book him from that. I mean, he had hold of his shirt, his shorts, all sorts. He knew full well it was not a chance.
Talk about not making the most of a corner. Gave the ball away so cheaply there, Paris Saint-Germain. Poor old Adeyemi ended up looking as if he was trying to... You know, when you... Well, I haven't done it, but the athletes that pull the trucks.
Yes, or the parachute. It literally is a parachute.
He was literally trying to pull a truck behind him because it looked as if
to be fair, Sam,
was dragging onto it.
I've seen you run. You look like you've got one of those. Must be invisible.
Forgot just how
spiteful,
great you were at comedy. Ball cleared up.
Just honest.
You're not wrong. Ball loose in midfield. Coutinho pokes it wide towards the left-hand side. Barcola takes over for Paris Saint-Germain, moving towards the edge of the area. Outwits Hummels, plays a reverse ball into Mbappe, who strikes it low towards the goalkeeper's near post, saved by Kobe.
I think Mbappe's had a little espresso or something at half-time. He's livened up, hasn't he, dramatically. But that's what he's all about. He's so dangerous. He's got such great ability. He doesn't need too many chances. That has to be a warning for Dortmund. They've got to realise now that he kept him quiet for 45 minutes. He's just had two decent chances.
Both those chances are when he's peeled into the left channel.
Yes, and then he cuts it onto his right foot. What Dortmund have got to do now is those experienced players is just settle down for 5 minutes. Maybe not go after the ball. Maybe ease off the press a little bit. Get back into their shape. That deep defensive block that they've had, and just see out the next 5 or 10 minutes and take the sting out of the game.
Dembele being marshalled by Adeyemi. Infield it goes to Zaire Emery, helped further forward by Coutinho via Nuno Mendes, and now collected far side by Barcola, whose long braids are flapping up as he tries to take on Schlotterbeck. Goes into midfield and the ball is switched out towards this near side where it's collected by Dembele. Plays into Zaire Emery, then wants the return, gets knocked to the floor, wins the free kick. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. It's the German club's first semi-final appearance since 2013. That featured a memorable performance from Robert Lewandowski, who scored all 4 goals in the 4-1 home leg win over Real Madrid. Jurgen Klopp was in charge, steered them to the final at Wembley 11 years ago. The final this time around in London as well.
I did the commentary for that. Yeah, I did. Many moons ago when I was younger.
It's usually the case, Dan.
Yes. I'm starting to feel old now, Sam. It's 23 years ago since I played in Champions League semi-final.
Ball into the box towards the edge of the 6-yard area, and arriving late was Fabian Ruiz, and he's missed the header. There was a lovely ball bent into the box. It was on the edge of the penalty area. Marquinhos faded the ball round the back of the defence. It was delightful. We would have opened a tin of baked beans. It was that razor sharp. But Fabian Ruiz was not as sharp with his header, and it goes wide of the left-hand upright.
How's he missed the target? A glorious opportunity. I know it's sort of coming across and around the back of a defender. Luis Enrique, hand on his head, thinking, right ball, wrong player, in that position. Needs a centre forward in there to put that away. That is a glorious opportunity. And that'll encourage Dortmund in a way, because you start to believe, actually, maybe our goal is leading a bit of a charmed life. Hit the post twice, missed an absolute sitter. Maybe it is our night.
Sancho down the right-hand side for Dortmund, looking to respond, engaged by Nuno Mendes. He just left it a little bit, and then that allowed some space for Zaire Emery to bring it clear over the halfway line. Key motors for PSG. They're just creeping into the ascendancy in this game. Adeyemi has a little tug at him. The ball goes infield by Dembele. Zaire Emery then plays it square. Here's Fabian Ruiz, Mbappe left side. Back to Fabian Ruiz again, back to Mbappe, back to the left-hand side of Nuno Mendes. Received by Vitinha. And Dortmund just revert to the edge of their own penalty area, retract and try and keep their shape. Ryerson trying to prevent Barcola from getting down the outside, and he just steps in front of him and draws the foul. And that will take the pressure off for a minute or two. We're approaching the hour mark. It's Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Dortmund, who took the lead through Niklas Füllkrug after 36 minutes, has seen the inside of their far post whacked by Mbappe and the base of their near post hit by Achraf Hakimi, all in the space of about 7.5 seconds.
I know that Luis Enrique is starting to try and build a team and a bit more of a team ethic, with PSG, and I can see that in aspects. But what I don't see is any particular way that they try and attack as a team. It's very much all about the individuals, isn't it? It's you just let those three up front sort of get on with it.
Sancho, lovely ball into Füllkrug, edge of the area. His shot takes a deflection and goes behind and away for a corner. Good combination between Füllkrug and Jadon Sancho. Julian Brandt wanders over to take the latest Dortmund corner. It is corner number 3 of the evening. Marquinhos was the player who just managed to get in front of that shot, deflected it behind for the corner.
Just need to take their time, settle down a little bit here. And we talked about it earlier, importance of set plays. This is a great opportunity.
59 on the clock. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Dortmund with a corner in front of the yellow wall away to our left-hand side. The ball sent high towards Hummels, who heads it back into a dangerous zone. Emre Can gets a touch on the ball, but can't get it out of his feet and find the yellow shirt. Paris get it half clear. It comes back from Schlotterbeck towards the near side. Hakimi dips underneath it and allows it to go out for a throw-in on this near touchline.
Well, Dortmund must have watched the Barcelona game, because when Christensen came on, he just waltzed into the box from the corner and I think scored with his first touch.
Good ball into Brandt, edge of the area. He snatched at the shot. Füllkrug combined well with Julian Brandt. It was up to him, damped down like an old-fashioned centre forward onto the on-rushing number 10, and there was Julian Brandt to smack it, but he just rushed the effort and dragged it well wide.
Yeah, it's not an easy one. It was on the up, and he wanted to take it quickly before he got tackled. But you're right. I think he saw his name up in lights, saw the headlines, and just snatched at it a little bit.
Second half, no attempts on target so far for Borussia Dortmund. But they're just trying to wrestle a little bit more control back in the game after an early bit of Paris pressure. Lovely skip by Sancho down the outside, gets into the penalty area. Füllkrug over the bar, 7 yards out from goal. An opportunity created by Jadon Sancho. A beautiful run down the right-hand side. He went beyond Nuno Mendes with a little trick, got to the byline. He centred the ball into Füllkrug, who didn't get his finish right. It's over the bar. It's a golden chance for 2-0.
Really good from Sancho down the right-hand side. Just knocked it past Mendes. Got himself into a decent area. Cut it back to Füllkrug on his right foot. If he hits the target, it's in. The keeper's beaten from that range. And somehow he's leaning back, falls over and sticks it over the crossbar. Huge let-off for PSG.
Great chance for Borussia Dortmund. PSG don't have a great record in Champions League semi-finals. They've actually lost 4 of their 5 semi-final matches. The sole success, a 3-0 defeat of Leipzig in a one-off tie in Lisbon in August 2020. You may remember during the COVID year when all of the European competitions became proper one-legged knockout competitions. Ball given away on the halfway line by Borussia Dortmund, but Mbappe can't profit. Hummels gets it clear. Schlotterbeck under pressure from Dembele. Kobel taking over. A little bit of a press going on from Dembele, who sensed the blood. They managed to get it out to Ian Maatsen, who clears from the left full-back position. It drops inside the box, and then it goes back out towards the near side again. PSG have the ball.
Sorry, Maxam, but Dortmund didn't do that in the first half, did they? They didn't take unnecessary risks in their own box. That was very unnecessary and nearly cost them.
Sancho evading Barcola this time, far side, inside his own half, keeping hold of the ball well, poking it to the right, lovely touch. He's got it back again, another good touch by Jadon Sancho. There's been signs tonight, hasn't there, of Jadon Sancho at his best. There's been moments where he's looked as if he's got the confidence back playing with this team. He's not got the speed, the out-and-out pace that wingers possess at the very top echelons of the game, but he has created a couple of chances.
Yeah, that last one was the best moment of the game for him so far. In the first half, I thought there was moments when I'm thinking, yes, go on. Got himself into good position, didn't quite happen, or gave the ball away at the wrong time in a bad area. But we just saw there, he's still got that ability.
See who has got pace, Adeyemi, who's trying to get round the back of Achraf Hakimi. He just overran the ball, actually. It slowed up, and he didn't. And Hakimi got rid of it, but then it's come back straight away, and through the centre is Sabitzer, playing it to Brandt, edge of the area, now taking on the Paris backline, sticks up across towards Fulkrug, who is pushed in the back by Nuno Mendes, and Anthony Taylor shakes his head.
Oh, it's a blatant push. 100% that's a push, and that's a penalty.
Well, VAR will check it. Stuart Atwell. Certain conversations are happening now. You can see that Anthony Taylor is touching his ear. We'll see what happens over the next couple of moments, but it could well be that gets pulled back. We'd love to see it. He's waved it away. He's turned to Adeyemi and said no penalty.
No way. I tell you what, I can't believe that.
Here comes Emre Can, moving up to within 10 yards of the Paris penalty area on the right. Switches the play to the near touchline. On the left is Brandt, then Maatsen. What an opportunity that could have been. Still, Anthony Taylor having a word with those involved, communicating the decision to them.
I'm sorry, I'm giving a penalty. In real time, seeing that once, I'm giving the penalty. If it's wrong, it gets overturned. Simple as that. But there's no reason Fulkrug gets
underneath the ball.
Well, he goes 2 yards almost past it.
Yeah.
It's a blatant push.
It'll be fascinating to see a replay of it.
We're just waiting for the ball to go out of play, aren't we? If I was Dortmund, I'd have been tempted to kick it out.
Sancho plays a 1-2, gets it back again, cuts infield, he moves in towards the midway point of opposition territory, feeds Maatsen. Maatsen's ball into Adeyemi is a poor one. He's then brought down by Achraf Hakimi. And Achraf Hakimi has been a little bit fortunate that he hasn't been booked already tonight. And I would be a little bit surprised if he doesn't get a booking now. Schlotterbeck still appealing. The fourth official is getting a barrage of abuse.
I mean, that totting up process, that's what, 4 or 5 for Hakimi at least?
Yeah. This is the chance. We're seeing a replay of it now. How much of a push was there by Nuno Mendes?
Well, it's enough to put him off. Slow motion doesn't do that. That's one of those where you don't need to see it in slow motion because you can't. You've got no perspective.
No clear and obvious error,
is.
according to Stuart Atwell. Bradley Barcola comes off, and on comes Randall Kolo Muani, who has played in Germany for Eintracht Frankfurt. It's where he made his name. Randall Kolo Muani.
I just feel it's one of those when you're jumping for a ball, you're about to head it. Obviously, you've got no control.
Edin Terzic, I think he's trying to explain that to the fourth official.
You don't need much of a push to put you off in that instance. He clearly has a hand in his back.
Well, Anthony Taylor has said no penalty. Stuart Atwell has backed him up. 65 minutes on the clock. Here is the free kick for Ian Maatsen and Julian Brandt to decide what to do with it. They've both gone to try and send it into the box. Maatsen does. In towards the near post. It's over the top from Fulkrug. His diving header goes over the top. Brilliant delivery from Maatsen, and Fulkrug threw himself full length of the ball as he ran in.
He might just have been offside, Sam.
He may well have been an inch offside, but we will never know now because it won't be tested by the VAR. That's a poor ball by Nuno Mendes. He strokes it straight out over on the far side.
But that also goes to show that Fulkrug is unlikely to mistime a header because he's absolutely thrown himself at that one and almost got too much on it, too good a contact. So the one before that, penalty appeal, if I was Dortmund, I'd be very frustrated.
Well, did Mendes do enough to put him off?
You don't need when you're in mid-air and you're in mid-fight, you don't need much to put you off. You're only talking about the slightest of nudges, and that stops a clear opportunity.
That. When I looked back at it on the slow-mo, I thought it would have been soft to give it. But you think that there is enough contact to put you off in those circumstances?
It's one of those ones that you need to see in real time because can't, slow motion, you've got no idea how hard the push is, if that makes sense. But it's like, if you were jumping and I just give you a little nudge, that you're done. You missed the ball completely. You're only talking
the fact that he used
inches.
his hands would suggest that was
yes, exactly
a push, therefore a foul. Here is Jadon Sancho for Borussia Dortmund, who still lead by a goal to nil. The goal coming after 36 minutes from Niklas Füllkrug, who's had one diving header in the second half over the bar, so close. Another one where he fell over backwards from a Jadon Sancho creation over the top of the crossbar too, and then a push inside the penalty area which he felt should have generated a penalty. At the other end, Paris Saint-Germain in this second half alone have had a Fabian Ruiz header that went wide, and Mbappe and Achraf Hakimi hitting both posts within 7.5 seconds.
What it does show, though, Sam, is the fact that Anthony Taylor, Premier League referee, is refereeing this game differently to what he would a Premier League game. There's a much higher threshold for fouls in this game, for yellow cards. The laws of the game are the laws of the game. But I think we've seen it, and you've done probably more than anybody else, Premier League and Champions League games. There is a different threshold set between what is a foul, what is a card, and what isn't. Why is it different? This is what I don't understand. The laws of the game are exactly the same. Is the Premier League trying to be something a little bit different, trying to be too clever at times? Because it just seems to cause problems. Anthony Taylor's let Hakimi get away with 5 or 6 fouls in this game.
Here's Jadon Sancho. Again, becoming more and more influential in the game the longer it goes on. Adeyemi with a cross from the left-hand side, but it's a bit too big. And it's missed its target. Interestingly, though, when you watch Adeyemi, we've given him quite a little bit of praise about his speed, his work rate, his endeavour and stretching the defence and getting in behind. He hasn't delivered a telling cross yet, has he, or a telling pass into the box or unleashed a shot.
No, but what is he, 22? So he's still young. He's still learning, in that sense. But he's got all the attributes that you can refine those little bits. You can teach that little bit of end product, that cross.
German papers dominated this morning by talk of Jurgen Klopp's possible return as a head of football overlord in 2025. Talking about him bringing on back the good times. It does feel a little bit as if the model that sustained Dortmund over the last 15 years has got a little bit stale. They are bucking the trend of their season so far by getting to the Champions League semi-final and by taking the game to Paris Saint-Germain. They lead by a goal to nil.
When I look at Adeyemi, would he be a better buy than Marcus Rashford? Without a shadow of doubt, I think. Marcus Rashford's room for improvement is minimal, I would say, at the age he is now. But with Adeyemi, the age that he is and the attributes that he's got, there's a much better chance that he could go and get better and better and better.
Interesting to Jamie O'Hara earlier in the week, who was suggesting that he would still have Marcus Rashford in the England team. He said he was a tournament player.
To be fair, he did manage Billericay team and got the sack.
He'll be after you later. Sports Bar open for business at 10 o'clock tonight. 03717 2233 is the number to call. I won't give out Danny's number. Here is Hummels.
I'm sure he can leave Talksport or WhatsApp voice note.
Here is Mats down the left side, feeding the ball into Adeyemi. He cuts in, runs into Fabian Ruiz, loses the ball. There's space for Sancho far side. Chan didn't spot that. Ryerson eventually works it that way. He's 10 yards outside the box now, taking on Nuno Mendes. He gets to the edge of the area. He's got the ball between his feet, goes on the outside, and then just keeps hold of it well, pulls it back into the box despite Mendes losing his footing. And then Sabitzer gets the ball from Sancho, couldn't get the ball across the face of goal. Still loose inside the box. Sabitzer falls over, slips as he tries to combine, and then it's taken away by Randall Kolo Muani over on the far side. He's run into by Emre Can. Good defending, says Anthony Taylor. We play on, and Schlotterbeck brings the ball forward into Adeyemi. Gets it caught between his feet. Fabian Ruiz will bring it clear from Paris Saint-Germain, and there's 18.5 minutes to go live on Talksport tonight. Dortmund lead by a goal to nil. Füllkrug with the goal. Back to Fabian Ruiz again. Now Mbappe approaching the edge of the penalty area. There's a tight knot of yellow shirts. He's found Dembele, who squeezed it past the goalkeeper, who got enough on it to take the sting off it. And it's cleared away from inside the 6-yard box by Borussia Dortmund.
Not offside there. He looked to be a mile offside.
Well, Anthony Taylor's got something to deal with at the other end.
No, it's an injury to Mendes.
Nuno Mendes is down just about 10 yards outside the box.
I think they were claiming that someone left a foot in on him. I think that's the issue, and Anthony Taylor's put his hand to his ear a couple of times, so we're getting a replay of it now.
Yeah, it was Slotterbeck who went in for the challenge, mistimed it, and ended up planting his foot on top of the foot of Nuno Mendes.
It's just unlucky. That's what I would say about that. I know it's not. It's Maatsen that plays everybody on. That little phase of play just afterwards, where Mbappe scoops it over the top for Dembele.
Actually, Cobble's done very well actually to get down to his left-hand side, because he mishit that Dembele. If he'd hit it cleanly, he probably would have hit it straight at Coble, because he came out and made the angle very, very tight. But because he mishit it, it almost came off his shin, and he had to react with his left hand just to push it away. Big games tomorrow night, live on Talksport. Aston Villa against Olympiacos is on Talksport 2. Chelsea against Tottenham is live on Talksport from the Premier League. Friday night, Luton against Everton. Saturday, Aston Villa against Bournemouth. Sunday, we're round the grounds as the WSL comes to its conclusion. It's not the final day on Sunday, but it could be a significant day for Manchester City. There's commentary of their game on Talksport 2, but we'll have updates on the Sunday session, which starts at 1:30. We'll be live from Brighton's Amex Stadium. Perry Groves will be at Stamford Bridge.
I expect Arsenal to win that comfortably.
Arsenal-Bournemouth,
yeah. And then I expect City to win their game comfortably, and it'll continue. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight to the end of the season.
Well, we'll be doing the battle for the top half on Monday Night Football as well. Crystal Palace against Manchester United. 74 minutes on the clock. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0.
Is that the race for mid-table trophy?
All about next season for Oliver Glasner and for Erik ten Hag. Coutinho, or poor control, snaffled up by Emre Can, up to the halfway line. Füllkrug holds it up well, turns it out towards the near side, left side of the centre circle. Adeyemi picks it up, then feeds it down the left wing towards Brandt. Brandt back to the edge of the area. Adeyemi didn't spot what was coming behind him. He then manages to get it from his feet to Can, and then out to Sancho, right side, teasing Mendes, cutting in field, lovely close control, going on the outside, right footed shot, takes a deflection into the arms of Donnarumma. I think he's had a very good second half, Jadon Sancho.
He's done better, that is for sure. But what I don't understand is, he skipped away from Mendes a minute ago by just knocking it past him, showing him a clean pair of heels. Why not just do the same thing again? You've got the beating of him. You've got him on toast for pace. Just keep doing that. You don't need to start coming inside and doing fancy tricks.
Well, one by Ryerson over on the far side, who's absolutely gobbled up Randall Kolo Muani. Not an easy thing to do. Taking the ball to halfway, 15 minutes to go. Hummels forward. Füllkrug holds it up well again. Just stepped in when he thought the ball might be going awry. Kept his team in possession. Dortmund at this moment in time looking like they're going to take a lead into the second leg, but they'll know that there's still danger from PSG lurking in the background and in the shadows. They've already hit the woodwork twice. Hummels forward, over on the right side. Dortmund, they finished top of Group F, 3 points ahead of PSG to qualify for the knockout stages, despite losing in Paris and drawing the home game. Certainly have been learning as they've been going on along, and I know that Edin Terzic was saying that he thinks they've got better in terms of their tactical analysis as the campaign has gone on, and he's quite a switched on character. Former West Ham United assistant manager to Slaven Bilic. He learned his trade at Dortmund as the assistant boss as well before taking the head coach role. They're very fond of him here.
I think what Dortmund are very good at is they're playing to their strengths, and they're trying to cover up their weaknesses. You know, as simple as that. Mats Hummels 35 years old at the back. You know, he's playing up against pure pace, and they haven't been exposed once in that area.
Yeah, it's certainly the old guard, isn't it, for Dortmund at this moment in time. Terzic coming back from other pastures. Hummel's coming back from a spell at Bayern. Schlotterbeck coming back from a spell at Bayern. Schuller coming back from a spell at Bayern. Sancho, Sabitzer, all reunited in that Dortmund team.
Isn't that what generally what happens though? Dortmund players get really good, they go to Bayern and then they come back. Mario Götze did that as well, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he did that.
There's been quite a few, hasn't there?
77 on the clock. Dortmund lead by a goal to nil.
What's the equivalent? Arsenal player going to Spurs and then coming back to Arsenal?
No.
Two massive rivals. They've been huge rivals, haven't they?
Yeah, it's slightly different in terms of proximity and levels of.
Well, it's a smaller country. That's why. That's for starters. But all right, okay. But it's not dissimilar, is it? It's like, you're going to your arch rivals, and then you come back and they're welcomed back with open arms. What would be the equivalent be?
03717223344. Here is Fabian Ruiz left side. Cross into the box is blocked by Ryerson. Goes out to play on the far side. Goes out for a corner to Paris Saint-Germain.
No one goes the other way, do they? No one goes from Bayern to Dortmund and then back to Bayern. Off the top of my head. Well, you're the statter.
You'll have to ask Kevin Hatchard that one. Vitinha into Achraf Hakimi from the corner kick. Back to Nuno Mendes, who clips the ball towards Kolo Muani, but it's a little bit too heavy. It's over him and Dembele's head and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. This is Talksport, and we're getting into the last section of the second half now. You just wonder whether there is going to be a chance now of Dortmund taking a foothold to Paris in a week's time. Could be that Dortmund are the team to produce the first Englishman to play in a Champions League final for an overseas club since
Owen Hargreaves.
Steve McManaman, Real Madrid, 2002. When he played in the Champions League final, Owen Hargreaves, it was for Manchester United in 2008.
Did he not win it with Bayern Munich?
I think it was before that, wasn't it? Here is Adeyemi playing down the left-hand side, poking it into the path of... he didn't win the Champions League for Bayern Munich.
He played in the final for Bayern Munich.
Here is a delivery into the box from Brandt over the head of Sabitzer, and it's cleared away. Right, well, you can go back and look it up. I'll give you the stats.
Well, he used to say that he did. Did he not score a penalty?
For Manchester United in 2008 final in Moscow.
I thought he played for Bayern. I thought he was a very young kid when he played for Bayern in the Champions League.
It might have been before 2002. Which was the whole point of the conversation.
Start Googling it.
You go and Google. We'll concentrate on the football. 10 minutes to go. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Ball launched over the top for Hakimi, who takes it down inside the penalty area, cuts back, sets it back to the edge of the area. It's over the top from Dembele. Well, he was on the penalty spot when he received the cutback from Hakimi, and he swiped at the ball and he got right underneath it and lifted it, elevated it over the bar. It's another good chance for Paris Saint-Germain. They have been few and they have been far between, but there have been chances that they will feel when they look back at the tape that they should have taken.
It's an absolutely glorious chance. He's got time, he's got opportunity to pick his spot, he's under no real pressure. He has to hit the target. If the goalkeeper makes a worldie save, he makes a worldie save. But you can't put it over the crossbar from there. I mean, Dortmund have played well. PSG have had 4 or 5 really good chances, have been unlucky. But I think all in all, Dortmund will be very, very happy with this. Their goal hasn't really come under too much pressure consistently, apart from that 7 seconds where they hit the post twice. It's looked relatively comfortable. That's the only really moment that we've seen Mbappe come to life.
Hargreaves 2001 Champions League final.
Oh, he did play in the Champions League final,
but prior to 2002. So my statistic was correct. Thank you for checking.
I knew that he had
Dembele, Hakimi onto Mbappe inside the penalty area. Poke to Dembele again. Vitinha with the effort. It's screwed wide. He's going to go out for a goal kick. They want a corner here. I don't think they're going to get one.
No, I think that it hit his standing foot. It was one of those where he's chopped it onto his own foot, I think.
First change for Borussia Dortmund, and on comes Marco Reus. Adeyemi is the one who's being replaced. He's just sort of run out of gas in the last 10 minutes or so. He's had a good impact on the game. Fast and furious for 70 minutes. Adeyemi on toast. And he applauds all four sides of the Westfalen Stadium. Marco Reus comes on to replace him, 34-year-old German. We've got just over 7.5 minutes to go.
I'm just checking. I knew it because it was the year that we were in the semi-final. That's how I knew that Owen Hargreaves played in the final.
I can't believe you didn't believe me.
Well, you didn't believe me that Owen Hargreaves played in the Champions League final either.
Not after 2002. I didn't know.
Well, I'm not sure you said. I think you just
that's the whole point of the conversation.
I think we need to listen back to the audio just to check that.
If someone's really bored and they need to go to sleep, they might do.
Well, it's not been a great second half, is it?
It's not been bad. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. And there are 7 minutes to go. Dortmund haven't reached the final of the Champions League since 2013. The last time they met in this competition, Dortmund took a first leg lead and still went out to Paris Saint-Germain. They'll remember that. Here's Sancho into Brandt. Brandt to shoot, and Marquinhos stops him from finishing it off. Here's Sancho again. Another cross. A header by Rice is over the top of the crossbar. Another couple of big chances for Borussia Dortmund. And Jadon Sancho at their heart. A lovely ball to feed Brandt. It's excellent defending from Marquinhos, who has... Brandt went through the middle of the penalty area, came sliding across to block his effort.
That could be a tie-saving tackle. That could well keep them in the tie. Great little pass from Jadon Sancho. Brandt was onside. I think it was Hakimi that was in a very strange, unusually deep position that allowed him the opportunity to run straight through the middle. And from nowhere, Marquinhos in with a fantastic sliding block.
That was great.
Real captain's moment. They needed that, because at 2-0 you would really start to worry.
Well, they won the second leg 4-1 of the quarter-final, didn't they?
They went 1-0 down as well.
They did, but they dealt with it. They had the firepower to come back, Paris Saint-Germain, and that will be the fear for Borussia Dortmund, who will not want to surrender this lead going into the final 5 minutes. They're giving themselves a platform on which to build in Paris in 6 days' time. Rice's got a bit of cramp.
I think he sets it up superbly, doesn't it, for the second leg. If the result is like this, PSG have got to come out and attack. They aren't brilliant at defending. They've got issues at the back, and that will allow Dortmund to play on the counter-attack. I think what you'll see in the second leg, if it stays like this at 1-0, Dortmund will sit very, very deep, and they will soak up all the pressure, and they will try and use Adeyemi's pace, Sancho's pace, and the big man Füllkrug up front to hold the ball up and use him as a platform to break away.
Lovely ball by Sancho, threading the ball through the legs of Beraldo, spotting Brandt's run into the box. Marquinhos spotted it too.
What a block.
Concerned looking Nasser El Khelaïfi in the VIP area at the Westfalen Stadion tonight. Ball cleared upfield by Dortmund with time running out for Paris Saint-Germain. One or two players have lost their footing in crucial areas tonight. Nuno Mendes was nearly the latest there. Hakimi on the right side of the PSG defence, up towards the halfway line. 4 minutes to go now on Talksport. Dortmund often reserve their best performances for the biggest stage, and tonight has to go down as that. Dembele feeding it out towards the right hand side to Zaire Emery. They've got to hold on though. Ball back to the edge of the area. Flick forward by Vitinha. Header by Fabian Ruiz. He's missed the target again. It was lifted over the top of the defence by Vitinha. It was a lovely, delicate ball. Fabian Ruiz, who was onside, tried to loop a header to the far corner, and it was over the bar.
It's a really difficult header, that is. It's behind him. So he's trying to lean backwards, crane his neck, turn his head and generate some sort of power to get it goalwards. That's a really difficult chance.
Felix Lemaitre comes on for Julian Brandt, and Marius Wolf comes on, I think, for Ryerson, who has gone off with cramp. Ryerson will be replaced by Wolf. Wolf will just go straight into that right full-back position.
Sam Young, have Dortmund got anything to play for at the weekend?
No, they can't fall any further than 5th position, so if they win tonight, they will get a Champions League place courtesy of the coefficient. Here is Wolf into the penalty area.
I'm just thinking he's likely to rest everybody and not play, and play a completely different 11. I would at the weekend if that's the case. PSG, we know they can rest players and make, they're just in cruise mode in their league. It's not a problem.
Here is Sancho again down the right-hand side. A low cross which is blocked on the edge of the 18-yard box by Beraldo. Goes out for a corner. Sancho has won it. And it is another set piece for Borussia Dortmund, who lead by a goal to nil going into the final few seconds here.
And this is where they've got to use it. There's big, strong Füllkrug in there. Hummel's coming up from the back. Schlotterbeck as well. They've got some real strong, powerful headers. And as we've seen several times already in this competition, PSG are not good at defending.
Felix Lemaitre inside that penalty area as well. Good header of the ball, and someone who's got stature to aim at inside the box. Aimed towards the edge of the box, and Lemaitre went up there, so did Füllkrug. Didn't quite reach Hummels. Royce will get a second chance to deliver the ball. Instead he goes actually backwards rather than forwards, just to keep hold of possession. And they go all the way back to their goalkeeper away to our right with 90 seconds of normal time to play. Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Ball launched forward too high from Kobel and goes straight through to Donner. Running the goal away to our left-hand side. Paris Saint-Germain knocked out last year by another German team in Bayern Munich. They would not want to be knocked out again. They will be thinking that they are going to be the perennial bridesmaids in this competition if they don't get over the line this year. So often the last 16 was their measure. Then their one Champions League final was in the year where there were no fans in the ground. They would love to be able to manufacture a comeback which takes them through to the set-piece event in London in the beginning of June. Here's Achraf Hakimi. The goal now would go down well for Paris Saint-Germain fans. Infield it goes to Beraldo. Came on as their first half substitute for Luca Hernandez. Back to the left and Nuno Mendes, the Portuguese left back. Marquinhos, who produced that timely block. Out wide it goes, right side to Dembele. Brings it infield, runs into a cul-de-sac. Skips past one challenge, then a second, then a third. Lays it off down the left-hand side. Chance for a cross from Fabian Ruiz. At the back post, Zaire Emery over the top of the bar. Underneath the ball, never really caused too much grief, and it goes behind.
I just feel that there's no real pattern of attacking play from PSG. It just seems, get it to Dembele, let him do his thing. Give it to Kylian Mbappe and see what he can do, with it. There's no real style or build-up play. It's like Füllkrug's coming off. He's done his bit. What a fantastic strike. Just seeing it again as he leaves the pitch. Absolutely magnificent strike. Half volley, left foot.
19-year-old Youssef Moukoko is coming on to replace Niklas Füllkrug with 3 minutes of the 4 that have been added at the end of the game remaining on Talksport. Sportsbar will take your calls straight after the game. 0371 722 3344. I wonder just how many of those calls will centre on the performance of Jadon Sancho tonight. Maybe Manchester United fans will be watching this with an envious glance at his performance tonight. I think what might have been. Royce to Moukoko down the left-hand side. He crosses a balloon into the box, which goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. Yellow wall behind the goal, still waving their flags, still with their ticker tape from earlier on hanging off the netting which is put up behind the goal to stop them from getting whacked with an errant ball.
Might be 1 or 2 large beers drunk tonight, I think.
think the Steins will be full.
Well, not for long.
I did see someone with a baseball cap that's, I think was in reference to his beer, it said "sink deep." Here is Mbappe, edge of the area, trying to swing the ball to the far edge of the 18-yard box that PSG are attacking. Dembele further up to the edge of the box, twisting, poking, finding Vitinha. Vitinha's trying to work it wide. A little bit of late pressure here as we go into the final stage of the game. Fabian Ruiz with an effort. Into the box it goes. It takes a deflection of Mbappe, and then Kobo will come out and claim it. And more pressure relieved off the shoulders of Edin Terzic.
Apart from that 7 seconds where they hit the post twice, it's been relatively comfortable for Dortmund, hasn't it?
Yeah, they had the Fabian Ruiz headers that also troubled the Borussia Dortmund backline, but apart from that's, I mean, they certainly haven't peppered Kobol's goal, have
they? No, 3 big chances in 90 minutes. Not particularly many.
Just the 1-0 slender advantage that has been given to Borussia Dortmund by Füllkrug. Lukaku going steaming forward through the middle to try and get on the end of a ball hooked forward by Nemecha from the halfway line. Couldn't reach it, and PSG have it back again on the edge of their own box. Up to Vitinha. Final few seconds now. A few Borussia Dortmund fans leaving thinking that the job is done, but only 1 or 2. Most of them sat watching intently as the final few seconds tick away, knowing that this will be a huge, huge step towards a Champions League final for the first time in 11 years. Dembele, back to Achraf Hakimi, poor ball, cut out, sent forward to Lukaku, who's expected to run with it and get Borussia Dortmund out of dodge and away from their own penalty area. He picks it up again and runs down the right touchline. He's tackled by Beraldo. It goes out for a throw, and now only 15 seconds of the 4 allotted minutes to remain, and the Borussia Dortmund fans now with a little bit more confidence stand and start to sing in praise of their heroes, who may well deliver a semi-final first leg victory for them tonight. Edin Terzic knows that this is not job done. There is a long way to go. Nothing is settled yet. And Dortmund know after what happened to Barcelona, there is every chance that PSG will possess enough firepower to overcome this deficit. But it is a great start for Borussia Dortmund, for Edin Terzic and the underdogs of the last 4, the unfancied of the quartet. They managed to keep Kylian Mbappe largely quiet, and when he made a noise, it was only the thud of the inside of the upright. Could they be the ones to deny PSG the quadruple after all? We shall find out next week. Borussia Dortmund take a lead to Paris thanks to Nickel Füllkrug's goal after 36 minutes. It's finished Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0.
And the stadium absolutely loving it. Brilliant stadium, brilliant fans, and they are thoroughly enjoying a Champions League semi-final first leg victory. And Danny Mills, you're right about PSG not having as much threat as we thought they might. Dortmund, though, I wonder how, when it all settles down, they'll be feeling, because, yes, they've got a 1-0 lead, but boy, did they miss some chances tonight.
Yeah, they did, but there was a couple, obviously, golden chances at the other end. I think it's a magnificent result for Dortmund, and the fact that, OK, that 7 seconds, their goal led a charmed life, but the fact they've kept a clean sheet, that will give them belief that they can go to Paris and they can get at least a draw. They can keep another clean sheet. They kept Mbappe very quiet tonight. Very, very quiet. He had just the one real chance where he hit the inside of the post. Apart from that, they were organised, they were determined. I expect that this whole team will be rested at the weekend, because they are going to need every single ounce of energy. Their energy levels tonight were absolutely superb. They are going to need at least that again in Paris if they're going to come through this. But they've put themselves in a fantastic position.
Yeah, the yellow and black flags are flying as the Dortmund players go over to applaud their own fans in a stadium that will take quite a while to empty out, quite a while to quieten down as well. And listen, we talked about Adeyemi at half-time and how brilliant he was in the first half. Jadon Sancho in the second half at times was untouchable. That little pass through for a shot that was blocked was sensational, truly world class. He's still got something. There's still a player in there.
Oh, definitely. I think his ability has never really been questioned. It's his attitude, that's been a problem. His work ethic, his discipline, all those types of things. That's what Ten Hag and Manchester United had a problem with. You have to remember, he was allowed to go away for 3 or 4 months and get himself right. He was given that opportunity, and he didn't necessarily take that. Maybe he feels a bit more comfortable, at Dortmund. Maybe he gets a little bit more love, whatever it is. First half he was quietish, but you're right, there were moments in the second half we think, yes, that's why Manchester United bought him in the first place. But he's got to do it more consistently, and he's got to do it, for 90 minutes, not for 30 minutes or 45.